Love. Such a beautiful and wonderful thing. Truly an emotion unlike any other. Love is one of mankind's most unbreakable. Well, fuck. It's that festive time of the year again, boys. And if you're anything like me, there's only one thing that comes to mind when hearing the word Christmas. Crippling despair and utter hopelessness. So what better way to celebrate that feeling than to talk about Expedition 33 and the depressing universe Sandfall Interactive so masterfully crafted. When a game is able to win Game of the Year, while also doing one of the most compelling deep dives into nihilism and dread, you know you've got something special on your hands. So sit back, relax, and join me as I dive into the good, the bad, and the downright soul-crushing aspects of this game. Right off the bat, let me start off by saying that I'm not exactly what you'd call an avid JRPG fan. Sure, I've played a Persona game or two, dabbled in some of the more popular Final Fantasies, and am fairly experienced with turn-based games in general. But honestly, most JRPGs never managed to fully suck me in. That being said, whichever absolute mad lad had the brilliant idea of adding multiple parry systems to a style of game that is known for being slow burn and unresponsive deserves the most buttery of croissant or the finest pack of whatever they chain smoke over there. Sure, the combat has its problems, but it managed to walk that fine line of challenge versus power fantasy that so many games fail at nowadays. And I really hope more games in this genre are able to follow in its footsteps going forward. Now, let me tell you, it's incredibly rare that a game is able to make me audibly laugh these days. But Expedition 33? Whoa boy, it had me laughing harder than your annoying coworker who kisses your boss every chance he gets. There were so many humorous moments in this game, and that comedic relief was a huge breath of fresh air when contrasting it with the miserable story you're forced to contend with. For example, pretty much every scene with Monoko, one of your eventual companions, had me dying and cracking up in stitches.
I will never join you again.
There will be a lot of fighting, though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's true.
There will be a lot of fighting.
Exactly.
Count me in then.
Good.
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 It's honestly crazy how the writing staff, who I assume are all clinically depressed, manage to be this consistently funny. In fact, if you've watched a few of my videos, in which case why aren't you subscribed, you Enwa? Anyways, you'd know that my satirical, self-deprecating, and oftentimes dry humor mirrors the humor this game loves to throw at you.
Get out of my way! Jeez.
This is so fucking stupid. For this next part, however, I'd like to throw an idiom your way. I'm sure you've heard of the expression, all that is gold does not glitter. But allow me to introduce to you, all that glitters like a drag queen on their prom night is most certainly gold. By now you're probably wondering why I was huffing exhaust fumes before writing this script. But boy, let me tell you, this game's visual and art design is simply and utterly breathtaking. Sure, it's got its flaws, which we'll get to later, but Sweet Baby Ray's honey barbecue sauce is so damn gorgeous. Not only did they masterfully blend contrast and saturation extremely well, but the sheer diversity of visuals thrown at you from area to area is truly a joy to behold. You could probably pick a random area in this game and turn it into a color palette that would send your local vapid TikTok star into estrus, it's that good. No, seriously. I know color, light, and art are an integral part of this game's narrative, but the way that they harmonize different styles and conceptual imagery together is genuinely something to admire. And last but not least, let's talk about the phenomenal voice acting performances from the talented cast in this game.
The one whose every step shakes the foundation of the world. The one known as François.
If you had told me 3 years ago that the Daredevil himself, Charlie Cox, could not only act well, but would also deliver a phenomenal vocal performance as Gustav, I'd probably believe you because, well, he's just that damn talented. But still, him and the rest of the voice talent really did a stellar job making their characters sound and feel believable.
You wanna get high?
From the subtle intricacies required to show different moods, to the sheer depth of emotions they were able to portray, the entire voice cast deserves recognition for their talent and efforts in bringing this world to life. And if you finish the game and know the core premise, you'd understand how foundationally important that achievement is. They're French. Ah, thank you, you're much too kind. But in all seriousness, as much as I adore Clair Obscur, it's definitely not without its faults. First off, I want to rant about how absolutely piss poorly this game has been optimized. Can someone please explain to me why this game had more strokes than my old Gram who smoked 7 packs a day for 52 years? For a game where timing is such a crucial part of actually playing the damn thing, it's pretty fucking annoying when your screen goes into an epileptic fit while you're desperately gaslighting yourself that you were going to parry at this time. Granted, I will admit there is a funny bit of meta-irony in a game packed with flashing lights and colors suffering from epilepsy. Now, for this next one, while I absolutely adore the levels themselves, the numerous invisible walls, the layout of the overworld, and just getting around in general were all frustratingly boring at times. This is made worse by the fact that there's no minimap or compass, which means you're forced to roleplay as Chief runs with scissors, getting lost for the millionth time because you accidentally turned at the red tree instead of the crimson one. More than that, I really didn't like the decision to only let you set up camp outside of levels. One, because it's incredibly tedious having to run back and forth like a knuckle-dragging proto-hominid. But more importantly, because I'm expected to believe that this genius group of intrepid explorers are somehow too brain damaged to set up tents inside a cave, when almost every other expedition could. I guess I must have missed the lore part where everyone in Expedition 33 has fetal alcohol syndrome. This problem is exacerbated by how absolutely nonsensical and mind-numbing the progression can be at times. A lot of side content is significantly harder than everything else you would have naturally encountered at that time, and if I weren't such a stubborn asshole who brute forces my way through everything, it would have been incredibly annoying to have to remember to come back 12 hours later after farming enough for the game to deem me worthy of its side content. Now, I know you might be thinking, stop whining you dork and just come back later. And you're right. Except, oh yeah, there's no general quest log, no map markers, and no fucking way to remind yourself where anything is or what you've already done. For a game where Gustav's journal supposedly plays an important part in the story, it's pretty damn absurd not having the ability to write, "Weird hand things treated me like a $4 hooker over there on that beach." This last one is going to seem silly, but fuck me do I have to vent. The volleyball side quest may actually be the worst piece of extra content I've ever experienced in a game ever. I'm not even going to justify or defend this one because it's so inarguably true. It sucks, it's terrible, and is probably one of the worst atrocities the French have ever done. Wait, you didn't really think I was gonna have anything ugly to say about this game, did you? Get a load of this guy! Now, anyone who knows me would tell you, if there's one thing I like, it's a big, dangly pair of hairy, pendulous cojones. What I meant to say was, I love it when games have the stones to actually risk making difficult and controversial narrative choices. And oh boy, is this game full of them. Expedition 33 does not pull its punches, and will make you feel the same grief and despair that everyone in the game has to contend with as well. In fact, I actually got so pissed off by something that happened within the first 12 to 15 hours that I stopped playing for 6 months before coming back to make this video. Granted, I do think it could have been executed slightly better than it was, but I respect what an absolutely ballsy move it was on their part to do something like that. Not just once, mind you, but pretty consistently throughout the game. You will suffer and you will get angry. Hell, you may even have to tell your girlfriend that you're not really crying, but just having an allergic reaction to how French this game is. These difficult choices are made even more compelling because of how absolutely well written and interesting the characters are. And I don't just mean the main cast. Even the random NPCs you come across all have their own unique quirks and eccentricities that make them so much more relatable. I mean, there's a paintbrush doll that breakdances for absolutely no reason, and that's pretty damn epic if you ask me. And again, I can't spoil why, but having these characters feel so real and relatable is fundamentally important to the game's core premise, which the devs absolutely nailed as an overarching meta-narrative. And last but not least, this game's soundtrack and sound design is quite possibly the Bohemian Rhapsody of modern video games. It easily sits up there with musical giants like Doom, Hotline Miami, Vice City, and of course Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. How in Buddha's enlightened left tit are you going to include music that makes me, a guy that doesn't even like the French, proud to be French, dog? What the fuck? There were so many songs that I could include to demonstrate what I mean, but honestly, a 5-second clip would be doing a disservice to this game, and I urge you to go listen to the soundtrack on your own at some point. My personal favorites were Rain from the Ground, Monoko, and this one which I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce. At the end of the day, this game is a testament to what devs can do when they aren't driven by greed and gluttony, but rather passion and artistic integrity. Sandfall Interactive can take pride in knowing this game has single-handedly sanitized the atrocities that Ubisoft caused to the world. Even though I still hate them and hope they go bankrupt. But nevertheless, Expedition 33 has rightfully deserved the title of Game of the Year, and is hopefully another stepping stone in studios showing a middle finger to those greedy dystopian slop merchants that want to maximize profits and minimize quality. With all that said though, there's really only one question left to ask ourselves. What the fuck happened to Trash Can Man? Thank you for watching the video. As I said, if you enjoyed it and want to be extra cool, remember to drop a like and subscribe to see what other videos I plan on dropping in the future. Otherwise, I'm off to force my neighbors to listen to my most offensive French accent possible. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.